Glad to know you're still with us. Now let's switch gears and talk about the CBN's policy, especially as it concerns the redesigning of the Naira. The Central Bank of Nigeria has put a limit on cash withdrawal made by individuals and organizations with effect from January 9, 2023. The maximum daily withdrawals via automated teller machines, that's ATMs and point-of-sale terminals, has been pegged at 20,000 Naira, while over-the-counter cash withdrawals by individuals and corporate entities must not exceed 100,000 Naira and 500,000 Naira respectively per week. Only denominations of 200 Naira and below shall be loaded into the ATMs according to the circular signed by the CBN Director of Banking Supervision, Haruna Mustafa, and issued to deposit money banks, DMOs, and other financial institutions. And still with us right here in the studio is Dr. Dayo Kayode to emphasize or to expatiate more on this issue. Now, Dr. D, we know that ever since the redesign of the Naira, it's still generating a lot of controversies. But now this policy of, 100,000 Naira individuals per week, 500,000 Naira to companies per week, what's your thought on it?
You see, even the redesigning of the Naira, to what extent is it going to affect, for instance, people that are having bullion vans? I'm saying bullion vans in their various houses. Those people, will the banks, are we sure the banks will not go to their houses to change those monies for them? I mean,
that's how powerful they can be.
How powerful some people can be. All right. 2, such people, do they even use ATM? Do they even use ATM? Do they even go to banks? Because if you can have bullion vans, then that means even within your premises, probably you will be having bank managers there to control such money. If not, AGM of 1 or 2 banks.
So you don't see any benefit in this?
Not that I'm not. Policy. I'm coming. I'm building it up.
All right.
Such people, it won't affect them. But you and I, where do we stand? Where do we stand? Because there could be a day that we need more than that money. Listen, there's one particular suite. This is true life story. One particular suite that my friend gave me sometimes over the weekend. And I said, okay, I'm going to buy because it's good for this weather, for you to take bitter cola, orogbo with it. And as I asked him, he said, yes, it's in a pack of 100. Okay? Then each one has 3 seats inside, each of the packs. Then you now have 100. I said, I say 1,000 Naira. When I went to the supermarket where he said I should go and buy it, I said, okay, let me even hold on to 1,005 so that I can also buy granulated sugar. When I saw the pack of the sweet, just last week, 1,000 Naira, or 2 weeks ago, 1,000 Naira, ask me how much? 1,750.
That's almost 100% increase.
1,750. I decided not to buy it. I bought another similar one that I know will serve the same purpose. What I'm saying is this. There could be a time that any individual might want to spend more than that. For instance, you drive. You've already withdrawn money for housekeep for the day. And then there's a problem with the car. Bad roads, ball joints.
And our electronic transfer system is not really reliable.
Ball joint now sells for 5,000. So how do you now get money to buy such? Where I'm going is this. It's a good policy because they do it everywhere. But where they do it, some facilities, some infrastructures are in place. For instance, price control. All right? Price control. You already have a mindset on how much they sell some things that you need. Okay? The roads are good. You know that your ball joints will not get spoiled anyhow. You know that because of the potholes on the roads and that, your tire will not get busted. Unlike here. So there are some things that are supposed to be in place before you come up with some policies. So those policies now, who bears the brunt? You will get to filling station. You want to buy fuel. I bought 30 liters for 8,000 naira. Is that supposed to be? Where would that 8,000 naira come from? If
you can't withdraw more than 10,000 naira right now.
More than 20,000. If you remove 8,000 from that 20,000,
you have 12 left.
Will that be sufficient to take care of the household? Imagine those that are still having babies.
Exactly.
That need to take them to the hospital. Will they treat those kids on credit? Do you understand?
Cases of emergencies like that.
Kids, you might get home. I mean, as a working mother, leaving the house, forgetting that cellular has finished. Or cellular will be finished during the day. And then in the evening when you get back home, you just find out that you have to go and buy another kind of cellular. Where will that money come from? Meanwhile, you've already expended the 20,000 naira that you are entitled to in a day. Where do you go from there? No social welfare. Or like in those areas that they do it, they supply you some of those things free of charge. You can always call this and they will bring it immediately because they place value on human beings. Do we place value on human beings?
But Dr. D, you know they talked about the benefits. For instance, when it comes to paying ransoms to kidnappers, when it comes to vote buying by politicians, and all of that.
You see, there is no policy that doesn't have benefits and disadvantages. But where the disadvantages outweighs the benefits, especially when it has to do with
the common man,
placing value, not only common man, placing value on the people. Placing value on the people. Who are those people that are engaging in kidnapping? We have read stories of recent, whereby big men are the more responsible.
Sponsors.
A particular governor mentioned it.
Okay, let's look at it this way. Now that there's a limit, how does this affect? Because we need to look at the common man in all of this. I mean, the average Nigerian. Because
that is now constituency.
Exactly. We talk about inflation rates, the price of goods and commodities, and all of that. The challenges the common man is facing in terms of economic means. Now, with this,
especially the youth.
Okay, especially the youth
that are still dependent.
Now, with this policy in place, how does this affect them going forward, and the firms as well? Because that certain firms, I mean, if you say 500,000 naira cap a week, that those who their businesses requires that.
They just said that you have to pay like 5%, I think, for every withdrawal that exceeds the benchmark.
It will see fall back on the common man. Let me give you an instance.
Okay.
An industry that imports for its production needs to clear some goods in Apapa. All right? He has already calculated how much to be paid. All right? For the value, the VAT, the everything, and he has paid. He paid. But unfortunately, something happened. Maybe the personnel that was supposed to write the TDO was not in the office. The thing had to stay. And then probably on a Friday, for another 2 days, demurrage. I know when it comes to demurrage.
More money.
More money. And you cannot withdraw more than so amounts. And the demurrage is now maybe in the range of above 500. Where do you go from there?
You have
then
to
when you are now paying for the
5% extra.
For the 5% extra, what do you call that? Is that revenue or cost? It's cost.
Cost, yes.
And then
Will you bear the cost? Because if you bear the cost, if you are bearing such cost, in no time you'll be out of business. And no businessman wants to be out of business.
It's profit oriented.
So God bless you, profit oriented. So what do? You pass it to the common man, to you and I. The money that you are supposed to use to maintain these beautiful glasses will not be there. How do you maintain it? For you to look good to the people. So these are issues. These are issues that ought to have been looked into. But unfortunately, because those of them there, as much as it's not affecting them, they don't give a hoot. And that is why they can afford to be telling independent marketers to be going to be buying fuel from private tank farms with dollars that is even scarce. No, that is even scarce. Are you not now putting more pressure on dollars? What now happens to dollars? It will be going up every time. These are issues.
That those who applaud this policy and the states would encourage, the cashless policy, boost it and encourage, the banks, the commercial banks to also step up their technological game in that sense when it comes to,
I will throw a question to you. I also throw a question to you.
Okay.
A baby. A baby that is just trying to do trying to walk. If that baby now looks at somebody who is running and wants to run, what happens to that baby?
Yeah, she stumbles.
Not only stumble, seriously injured. The teeth that are not yet there, will never come up because the gums, they might use the gums to hit the ground. Are you with me? And that is exactly what is happening to us. We are still learning to walk. Nigeria is just 60 years old. And we want to be behaving like those that are. America is 205 years old now.
No, over 232.
At least over 200. Or Britain. Or Italy. Do you understand? Is this happening anywhere in Africa?
But when
is it even South African economy that is developing at a faster rate than that of Nigeria? Are they having this there? Rwanda, are they having it there?
When you look at the issue of technology within the banking sector, we know that in recent times several Nigerians have complained about the technological services of banks not being able to access mobile apps, making transfers and bouncing back and all of that, reversals and all. So now, doesn't this pile more pressure on those banks and their technological services if they can't even meet up with it now?
That is why I didn't want to be rhetoric.
Okay.
And that's why I just decided to give you that analogy. Somebody learning to walk and then looking at somebody running. You don't stay on somebody else's lane. No, you don't stay on somebody else's. Stay on your lane. Don't look at somebody else's wristwatch to plan your day. Use your own wristwatch to plan, because you don't know the way I set my wristwatch.
Well,
You use your own to plan yourself. But we are looking at what is happening there.
But you know, there's a statutory function of the CBN to always redesign the Naira at least 5 to 8 years. And we've not done it in like 10 years.
I'm not complaining about the redesigning of the Naira. I even love these colors. the 200 there is making me to remember pounds. While the 20 or so is making me to remember dollars.
Although some Nigerians would disagree, saying that there is not much difference except for the colors.
It's the colors. The color, that's what we call redesign.
Yeah, okay? but when they say they want to make it difficult to counterfeit, is it just about the colors, or are there features that they've put on it that will make it difficult to be counterfeited?
When you're talking of counterfeit, who are those people that has capacity to do it? It's them.
Those with the plates, with access to the plates.
Forget those ones. They know how to catch them if they want to catch them. Those that have been caught in the past, have they been prosecuted? Is it not plea bargaining? Let's leave that.
Access to money
back to the one you talked about. You see, yes, there is an instrument that dictates that every 8 to 10 years, redesigning.
5 to 10, 5 to 8.
5 to 8.
Redesigning. Even if it is every day. But there's what we call processes and procedures. Why do we have processes and procedures? So that it will not have adverse effect on the economy and the people. Because government exists not for itself. It exists for the people. So whatever you do, the people must have to first of all be considered. And that's why those nations you are comparing yourselves with, they have what they call government social securities. I'm not saying security. Government social securities. So many. Which one do we have here? Now, the CBN follow the procedure and processes? No. You are saying all this thing within 3 months? Even developed economies. They wouldn't try
in the UK, it took time
2 years
for them to.
2 years. America, 18 months. But you that is still a growing embryo, not even growing baby, you are saying 3 months. And that's why you saw dollar at that time.
But it's dropped now.
Drop to what? Tell me. Drop to what?
We have it at about
710 or so.
But where did it peak from before it got to 900? Then now back to 7. Why did it not go back to where it was?
But they are saying that it's because of
because there was pressure. Everybody, there are a lot of people. Instead of them going to the bank, now decide to buy
from
dollars. And where are they buying the dollars?
BDCs.
You can't go to the bank and buy.
Banks will tell you they don't have.
You can't go to the bank and buy. Where are those BDCs getting it from?
From the banks.
From the banks.
The banks are comfortable.
So who are the people sharing the profits? The banks. And that's why today we find
the BDCs are the ones getting arrested.
And the BDCs getting arrested.
Exactly.
And that's why they cannot be prosecuted. Because they know if they are being prosecuted to be punished, they will spill beans. They will spill beans. Just like the kidnapper that was released, and then the particular village man decided to turban him, and in that turbaning, a lot of other terrorists, like over 300, came with motorcycles, and US security agents said they couldn't arrest them. How will they arrest them? They know they will spill beans.
Let's wrap up this conversation now. What will be your final thoughts? Not about the redesign now, but this new cap on withdrawals. How it, we've talked about how it affects companies and individuals, but your final thought as a whole, how it affects
my final thought will come from what I said before. Let me just get it reiterated now. Government doesn't exist for itself. Since creation, since creation. God, which is the biggest government ever, found out that he too cannot even exist for himself. And that's why he called the host of heavens. He said, let us create men in our image. Why? So as to have people to use your power to control. All right? With human face. And that's why when he created them, he put them in an environment whereby everything had been provided. Garden of Eden. Okay? So, if that is it, then that means no government on earth can exist for itself, but for the people. For the people. If that being the case, whatever policy, whatever decisions you are making must have human face.
All right.
How will this not affect the people adversely, despite all the advantages? So you now need to put all those things together to ensure the way you implement your policies.
Very apt. You know, it reminds me of what Zainab Ahmed, the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, said. She raised some concerns as regards to these policies.
Receipt was in Accountant General's office, and we didn't.
But let's not delve into all of that. Thank you so much, Dr. Dyer. We'll be back with more conversations right here on iBrand Daybreak. Stay with us.